and welcome to GlowChat. I am your host Vic and I am here with founder of GlowFound, Claire. And this is a brand new podcast all about skincare, self-care and just feeling your best in your own skin. Are you excited, Claire? We're going to have lots of conversations about just feeling your best really and about real skin really, real women, real skin.
I'm really excited. I think it's all about not just what you put on your skin, but for me anyway, like how I live my life generally shows up in my skin. Yeah. So I think it'll be really cool and quite interesting to have a lot of conversations about a lot of different things.
Yep. And we're going to have some fun guests as well. And we're going to be sharing a little bit about our skincare routines. Mm-hmm. And we don't come from a place of we are the experts and this is, right and wrong. This is just like a journey of discovery really about skincare. And really everything that goes with it, from, your hormones to how you feel in yourself and, what products are agreeing with you, don't, and, the fun aspect of the aging process as well. It's just great being a woman, isn't
amazing. It? But yeah, and I think it's also like what works for you might not work for me.
Absolutely.
But it'll work for another person. So yeah, we're definitely not experts. If anything, we'll be learning as we bring more of our guests in and what we learn just through building GlowFound, really.
Yeah. So, as you mentioned, GlowFound, do you want to just explain a little bit about how GlowFound came about and really like what made you decide to start a skincare brand?
So it's quite interesting. So I always wanted to, not always wanted, a couple of years ago, I had a completely random conversation with a recruiter, and you kind of have these speculative conversations where they're like, are you looking for a new role? What would you be looking for? And I had this niggle that I wanted to go into sustainability. I come from a corporate finance background, really not my thing.
Yeah, because that is a big jump going from the kind of world of finance and very much removed from what you're doing now.
Yeah, definitely. Totally jumped into it. So I had this like niggle that I wanted to work in sustainability, but I had like no idea why. I knew why, I just didn't know how. And then at the beginning of last year, my skin kind of forced the issue a little bit. So work just got incredibly stressful, like an episode of Succession, if I could go into it. And
that sounds kind of juicy.
And it showed up completely on the skin. I wasn't a particularly spotty person. And then I just totally broke out and then nothing was working. And I was like, I need to get this under control. I'm 37. Like I thought at 37 you'd be past that. And
when you have problems with your skin, it just affects everything you do, and your confidence is just so determined by how you feel in your skin, isn't it?
And I think like that you put makeup on and you know it doesn't sit right and it's not looking how you'd like it to look. Yeah. And then you see Instagram is great, but you see a lot of polished images and then you kind of spend a lot of time comparing yourself.
And filters as well. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, face tuning. So there's like so much stuff out there. And I was really interested at the time, and I still am, about clean eating. So I'd watched listened to the book about ultra processed foods, which if you ever listen to it, will totally put you off about like 90% of foods. But it's really interesting. And so I thought, well, if I'm focusing on what I'm putting into my body, I should really do the same with like what I put on my skin. And then I started to go on this bit of a journey around different products, like what works for me, what isn't working for me. And I found like a few good products, but it was a lot of trial and error, and which is expensive as well, actually.
Absolutely.
So I was kind of doing this in the background. I was really into it. And I had the opportunity to pitch completely randomly off the cuff a business idea. And I pitched GlowFound, which was having a curated set of products that had more of a clean focus on it, or giving people like the information to see like what they're putting on their skin. And it's up to you. I still believe it's up to you what you do with your skin. But also bringing in some really good Scottish products. Like I'm from East Lothian, and we have so many lovely natural skincare products. And they decided to go for it. So like, we'll fund you to get started and let's get going. So that was kind of at the middle of last year. And then it's just sort of evolved since then.
Yeah. It's been a very quick process as well, hasn't it? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because we've started working together in like October.
Yeah. So for a little bit of context, I and my business, we do all kind of social media, everything like that for GlowFound. And I think when was that, like September we started working together?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we've done a lot since then.
We have. And it's like evolved as well, because like I think when it was started it was a little bit different, but I think now it's like,
and we were just coming up to like that really important like Christmas period as well, so there really wasn't much time to like, you know, just like ease into things. It was like, okay,
like, we're going and we're doing this, and I feel like I definitely learned a lot of stuff in the first like from like October onwards. Like some things failed, but I feel like that's like part of learning.
Oh, absolutely. The quicker you can fail at as many things as possible, then the quicker you learn from it. And it sounds like such a cliche, but it's so true though, because that's how life is, that's how business is. And, you know, there's going to be some things that you put out and then you look back on and you think, why did I do that? But it's one of these things that you always take something from it, and you always kind of learn and evolve and really kind of put that into practice, you know, going forward as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, no, it's definitely been like wild.
Yeah.
But in like the best way though.
Yeah. There's just something so different about success when, you know, and when you're working for someone else compared to when you have your own business, and what success is, how you actually measure it. It's not, you know, hitting targets or anything like that. It can be like the smallest, simplest thing, you know, somebody just saying, oh, I've seen that on like Instagram, or you're just like, oh my God, that's so exciting. Compared to like when you're working for a bigger company.
Yeah, I had somebody DM me in like the last week, and they were like, I don't even know you, but I'm like so proud.
I saw that comment. That was
sweet.
So cute.
And I thought, oh, that's so nice. And I feel like if anybody like sees what we're doing and they think, well, I could do that, I think that's actually quite great, and they should do it.
From a social media manager perspective, one of the first things that we spoke about was, you know, we were saying to you, we really need to get you into this content, you know, not as, you know, here to preach about this is the skincare you're using, but it's people are invested in the journey, and as you said, this is a complete stranger telling you that she's proud of you. Then that's kind of what people are interested in. That's kind of what people want to see, is the kind of highs and lows and everything that goes on behind it, rather than just that kind of like finished product, you know, because obviously you sell skincare products the same way as Space NK, but Space NK don't really have that kind of person behind it that when you make a sale, they're like, oh my God, you just get a really big sale in from someone spending money.
I know.
Yeah, and that's the exciting part of it.
Yeah, I definitely did not want to be on camera. I feel like we should let people know.
Oh, absolutely.
I was like totally like pulled against it, and then I came back after Christmas. I was like, Vic, I want to do a podcast.
Yeah,
and you were just like, okay,
right, yeah,
we're just gonna go with it. But it's been really good, and I think like I've met so many amazing female-owned businesses, and hearing about what they do and how they've kind of built things up in their journey. I think it's really interesting.
I think it's just that shift from, especially you coming from the corporate world, where everything's very LinkedIn. Everything is about talking about, and I've achieved this in Q1 and blah, 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 to just having that vulnerability of being, you know, talking honestly about, oh, that didn't work, or, you know, it's just like such a different mindset to get in when you've, you know, been in that kind of very heavily corporate world for so long. Yeah,
like I saw my friend last week, she's just had a baby, and we work together, like she still works in corporate, but we were talking about, in corporate, that you have this thing where you're like, you have to get this thing done by a specific deadline, and you're like stressed out, and you know, you're going through like a PowerPoint presentation. And I remember I used to get so incredibly hit up about if somebody found a double space in a document. And you're like, and seeing the big grand scale of the world, a double space in a document really doesn't mean anything. But at the time, you're like, I still remember that, honestly, double spaces. Like I can spot them just because the person was really specific, but it just makes me chuckle, because you're like, that compared to what I'm doing now, I find really meaningful. So like we've had women that have like messaged me to say, I'm really struggling with my skin, but I don't really know what to do. This is what I'm currently using. Acne actually was the most recent one, and like I recommended using toner pads, which actually really helped.
Yeah.
But I think it's like having women reach out and say like, I've been struggling with this for 10 years and it's like really knocked my mental health and well-being. And like you say, it's skin is not just like you wash your face and you're off.
Yeah. And I think women are made to feel quite shallow for caring about these things as well.
Yeah.
And it does just totally transform how you present yourself and, you know, the things that you would do and things like that as well. Like even today we were talking about, you were like, oh, I've had such breakout this week, and just like, you know, and that's just life, isn't it? It's just...
Yeah. And I think like you said, the hormonal aside. So like, I'm like, oh, I would break out this week. But also I'm slightly nervous because I'm going to do something I've never done before.
Yeah.
Female, like we've got hormones, and actually that all plays into it, and that's completely fine.
Yeah. And you're also a mum of 2 as well. So, and you know, even like this weekend and things like that, having the kids around more, and just trying to do it all and be everything to everyone as well.
Yeah, which it is, do you know what, it's such a juggle, but I'm so thankful that I can build this business. It probably gives me more time with my kids than I probably ever would if I was in large corporate. Yeah, so I can still do the school pickup, I can still do the drop off, which is really nice, but it is a juggle when it's like half term.
Yeah.
And I'm like sitting doing work in the car as I'm waiting to pick up from football camp.
I think that is when, you know, we've been running our own business for like 7 years now, and people think, you know, when you work for yourself that, you know, you've got all this time, but any time that you take out during the day to go to an appointment, like we're so lucky that we don't need to do, you know, it doesn't have to be out with, you know, working hours, you know, if we're going to get our nails done, but at the same time, you know, you're still working when emails are coming in at 9 o'clock, and if something's not done, then you get it done whatever time, you know, you don't really take time off the same way. You don't, you know, I was away for the weekend there, and, you know, you don't put out of office on for, you know, 2 days that you're away. You're still replying to emails. You're 100%. Still the days before you're going away and the lead up to it, you're kind of like working extra long days to get everything done. So that is just the kind of like balancing act, but it's also good that you can then kind of like manage things in your own way, that way that works for you as well.
Yeah. I mean, it does come with like other things. Like I was saying to you, my son thought I sold skin.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't sell skin. But in a very different territory.
But worrying if he's like in school and drawing things.
And it's like, my mum sells skin. And I'm like, I don't. So, but I was trying to work out how we got there. And I'm like, oh, it's because I must talk about what you put on your skin, what you put on your... And I'm always quite big on like, you need to moisturise. Like, I kind of feel like they're quite nice habits to learn from like quite a young age. Yeah. My daughter particularly suffers really badly from eczema. So like I try and put a lot of emphasis on like taking care of your skin.
Yeah. But not like harsh products that we're seeing. We were talking about that earlier, how kids are just being sold to. It's just ridiculous these days. All these like harsh chemicals that they just do not need at all, just because it's, you know, a trend in TikTok.
Well, yeah. And also like kids will do, particularly when they're younger, they'll follow what you do. So like my daughter, which... it's like, I mean, there's a story in itself just every week with her, but she focuses on makeup because she sees me put makeup on, and it's sweet, but you're like, actually, I would rather you probably looked at how I look after myself and kind of picked up on those ones. So it's definitely fun. She just wants to actually take over my business. Yeah.
Oh, that's good to know. Yeah. You can just retire. It's fine.
Yeah, it could be a great business model. And she wants to sell glittery lipsticks for eyes.
Right, okay.
Couldn't have the heart to tell her that's been done.
Yeah, I like her. So, entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Real side.
Yeah, that or ruthless, like one of the two. But yeah, it's good like watching them like want to almost like figure out what they want to do, like even at like a really young age, and then like they've got ages to go because they're so small. Like my daughter's 4, like just to put the context. But it's nice like watching them do something that I love rather than like being like drained by something. Yeah. And they get to kind of like ask questions, and they're really quite interested in it, which is really sweet.
Yeah. Even like I've got 2 young nephews and a young niece as well. And I think, you know, like my niece, she always just come in and like, you know, help us out with shoots and things like that during the summer and things. And I think it's just important to show that, you know, it's, you know, you can do something, you can actually go into work, doesn't need to be this, oh my God, like it's Sunday night having that horrible feeling and, you know, dreading it, and that you can actually just do something that you're really passionate about and that you actually really enjoy as well. It doesn't need to be this horrible, I just go to, work to live rather than the other way around.
Yeah, but do you also think as well, like when we were coming out from uni and things like that, it was that total girl boss era.
Yes.
And it was like I remember it was like climb the ladder. It was hustle culture. I could do everything myself, which actually when you take a step back, you're like, women are community based. So actually having that total, like I can do everything myself is just goes against actually naturally who we are as people.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I do remember it being that like hustle culture. And if I worked like 50, 60 hours a week, that was chef's kiss, like it was amazing. Or I mean, I remember being like incredibly proud that I went to India for 3 days. And I'm like, that was actually really draining to travel all that way to visit a team to come back. But I remember being like, oh, that's just what you do. But it was really draining. So.
And not sustainable as
really
well.
Not sustainable.
And I can't imagine that's great for your skin either.
No, I think no, definitely not. So I'm definitely in a much better place doing this now.
It's really just all about balance. And I know that again, that's like such a cliche, but it's not necessarily balance as in working a certain number of hours. It's just like feeling like it's not like work as well is such an important thing as well, and feeling like you're making a difference. And
I think it's whatever your balance is. So like not everybody's balance will be the same. But I think as long as you're taking time to look after yourself and fill your own cup up, that's really important. I think women generally tend to not do that. They'll put everybody else and everything else first. But you're more likely, like you'll burn out effectively. And then, you can't do anything. So it's not great.
So you mentioned earlier about GlowFound and about, some of the Scottish skincare, how good some of the kind of newer Scottish skincare brands are. That's been like a kind of really important, because at the start we spoke about, before you really had that many Scottish brands on the site. And one of the things that we spoke about was I actually think it's a really good point of difference to have a kind of bit of a Scottish accent to skincare as well. We've got some of the amazing like K-beauty brands on the website, but also having that kind of little bit of Scottish. And it's not just for the sake of having a Scottish brand there. It's stuff that you have tried out a lot of products, and there's been products that you've said no to. They just don't really feel that they work. But it's really just about that curated, like the kind of best of the best, really, when it comes to Scottish skincare.
Yeah, and I think like I've spent a lot of time speaking to those founders. So like Oils and Bloom, they were the first ones that we onboarded, and it was really interesting going through their like formulation, what they talked about, and they're waterless, which means they don't need to put as much in it to preserve. Which means that's also what makes it cleaner. And then we've also then worked with Shaylick, who are wildlife certified, the only ones in the UK, and they take all their ingredients from their meadow. They everything supports the wildlife. They press all the ingredients themselves, they make it themselves, which is I think really, really good, and it's fully self-sustainable. We've also worked with like Raven Botanicals, which I actually found them randomly online and then just went somewhere in there's a pop-up shop somewhere in Dalkeith in East Lothian, and I just effectively just went up to the stall and was like, I'm really interested, can you chat me through? And they were really lovely, and actually they've agreed to come on the podcast, which is going to be cool. And I use like some of their products. Lily B, great for sleep, their story's amazing. West Coast, so because we needed to even it out.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like this is the East Coast, West Coast divide here between us.
And we've got like a few more that are coming on that are really interesting. So like it's just understanding, working with those founders and understanding why they want to do what they do. I find really good. But like you say, like we don't stock everything. We take like a curation, and I think we do that with across all the brands, the K-beauty brands as well.
Definitely.
I mean, K-beauty is like huge as well, but some of the brands are really good. I love Anua, and I love Skin 1004, like my faves.
Yeah, they're really good. And it's just been a case of kind of adding in products that you've kind of like trialed out and kind of like got friends and family and things like that to try out before you're putting it on the site as well. It's not just a case of like, right, okay, just let's throw some more things on the site.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think And that's what I think with like the collective is it's given women the opportunity to like try out new products.
Yeah.
And also like longer term what I'd like is that they can help shape what we stock.
Yeah.
So it actually becomes very community based, and it becomes very much not just like what I curate, but also what our like all our customers.
Definitely.
curate.
So just to kind of go back to that, so the GlowFound Collective, we've just launched kind of in the last, really kind of the end of January, wasn't it?
Last month.
And so the GlowFound Collective is basically just, we really see that as being like a real community of women who love skincare, who also maybe want that kind of like place for them to talk about skincare. And we're going to be launching some events coming up soon as well, which we're really, really excited about, just all around wellness. And it's not just going to be, you know, just on skincare. And, you know, but there's so many amazing benefits as well. So you get 20% off everything on the site. You get free full-size product every month. There's exclusive like giveaways and competitions and things. And there's obviously the events coming up as well, which will be really exciting, and really excited to talk about that soon as well.
I feel like as well we're at a time when like we really want offline connection, like human connection, because so much of it is online. So I'm really excited to do our events.
I think even especially for women, you know, women go through so many changes in life, and, you know, their friendship group maybe changes over time as well. And, you know, if you don't maybe have, you know, out with the kind of like married couples, and, you know, whether you're, you know, you've just had kids and then you've maybe your friendship group changes, some women can feel a wee bit left behind, or they kind of don't really know their place anymore, and they are actually just looking for connection, really. I think that's such a big part for, you know, women, just to feel like they are heard and seen, and that they can have those kind of like open, honest conversations as well.
Yeah, and I think as well, like as you get older, like you change as a person. And I feel like finding like-minded people is quite hard. And like you say, like your lives go off in like different paths, and you're all in different seasons. So I think like if you can come together and you find like-minded people, that's amazing. Or actually, maybe it's a group of friends who don't see each other very often, and you're like once a month or once every other month we go to this event and we all hang out and we all get to do something that we like maybe haven't tried before, or, you know, like a Pilates class or like a brunch. I mean, I'm down for a brunch. Always. Or like a spa day or something that they would like to do, and they can kind of connect.
So we have like full events calendar really planned for like the rest of 2026, which is quite scary.
I know.
Of just really cool, fun, always quite different. It's not like going to be 2 months where it's going to be the same kind of thing. Try to be as fair as possible in, you know, East Coast, West Coast, you know, kind of Central Belt as well, just so that as many people can kind of get involved in it as possible.
Yeah. Like I really want to do a sound bath.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've got that on the list.
We were actually talking about that. That definitely sounds fun. And we were going to do like, is it tarot cards or something as well?
Yeah, tarot reading.
Yeah, just something a bit different that, you know, you maybe wouldn't do on your own as well. Whereas when you're going to an event, it's fine. You know, you feel like it's different like people. Just
and I think you take what you want from it.
Yeah,
and I think that about everything actually. Yeah. So like you might not be like really into Pilates, but actually you might want to move your body more, and so you might find something that you like.
But that's really exciting as well. So we're also going to cover what we've been obsessed with this week. We were discussing it beforehand, and then we were like, we need to stop talking about it so that we can talk about it again now. And that is America's Next Top Model, the documentary, the kind of like behind the scenes, like tell all. And yeah, it is just crazy how that doesn't feel like that long ago, but also feels like a lifetime ago, because you watch it thinking, how did they get away with that?
There's so many things, like when you look back, and like I loved Top Model when I like first came out. Like I was like obsessed with it. But like you look at like how real thin they are, and they're really tiny. And then the beauty standards, like there's a whole
even like the ones that were the models who were, you know, plus size.
Not plus size. They were not plus size any shape of like any shape or form. Crazy. Like the Cycle 10 winner, and then she was like, you kind of see the shot of her doing like her in her bikini like walk, and you're like, she is not plus size.
She is killer.
Yeah, I'd be delighted if I looked like that. But even just things like, so because they needed to be so thin, you looked at like, there was a section like they were not really eating, or they had maybe some disordered eating. And And then what you were looking at is it wasn't nutrition.
No.
And then you see that come through their skin. Like there was one person who, actually spoilers because we're like talking it in case you haven't watched it, but Ebony, who had really, her skin wasn't great, but actually she was maybe suffering from a bit of acne, but they just didn't really help with that. It was so interesting.
Yeah. And I feel like even at that time, I remember watching it and it was, you know, more about, you know, if your skin's not good, it's because you're not looking after it well enough. It doesn't take into consideration any other, you know, like hormones or anything else like that, especially when these girls were like teenagers. Like,
oh yeah, they were like 21, like, and I remember it was like someone was in maybe 24 and I was like, oh, she's too old to model. And I was just like, no way.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was at a time when, and then that takes me back to like what my skincare routine was like at that time, which was wipes.
Yeah.
It was not a great routine.
The apricot exfoliating. I mean, you had, like, everyone had the same products. There was that was skincare, you know.
That was.
The really harsh, you know, you thought you could just scrub off
everything.
Any
fake tan.
Problem. Yeah. Everything. And yeah, it's a wonder our skin didn't look worse.
I know. Age. And I was very much like a more makeup person. Just keep putting on the Dream Matte Mousse.
Oh, absolutely.
That didn't have any shade that fixed, like went to any human.
No, absolutely no. And it was just this thick layer. You can almost like still feel it in your skin. Like,
oh, and I loved it as well. I think everybody had it. So
we also grew up in an era before YouTube tutorials or anything like that as well. I feel like kids have got it so easy these days. You know, they've like such a range of products available and, you know, experts online helping them, whereas we just had to, you know, it was like products that your sister, cousin, or your mum used and things like that. Yeah.
Or like what you found in a magazine. If you had time to watch a magazine. That's where you would get magazines. Yeah, I definitely wasn't going into like, I don't think there was nothing like Sephora when we were back then.
I mean, Scotland still doesn't have a Sephora, which is really annoying.
Like Glasgow would be the place it would go.
I know, yeah. No, we've got the H Beauty now in both cities,
I know.
which is obviously, we love. But, you know, a wee Sephora wouldn't go amiss either. The more the merrier.
Definitely. But yeah, it definitely like, the whole thing just brought like, just flooded so many memories. But I thought it was just so interesting around like, I mean, just what they did to the girls, like during their makeovers, like the whole part around the teeth was just, again, it's all like beauty standards. It was so reflective of the time, that's the thing. And you wouldn't do that
there was
now.
this ideal of perfect. It wasn't, you know, looking your best that that person possibly could. It was kind of like fitting into this, you know, idealistic, you know, standard really that nobody really fit in.
No, very few. But no, I've definitely been like obsessed with that this week. Done that much else this week?
No, it's not been a week for that.
No.
Still, you know, feel like we're still in like winter hibernation. Not quite out of that other side of it yet.
No, definitely not. I did do Valentine's Day a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. That was good. It was actually just nice getting everybody together.
Yeah. Any excuse really. We love an excuse for
anything for a party.
A theme.
Decor.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't really hosted in ages. Like when I was in my early 20s, I would like be the person that ever would have everybody around. And again, like I kind of lost that.
You've got a really big friendship group as well, don't you?
There's like
my two friends could never.
There's like 15 of us in total. We do like an annual like girls' weekend away, and we've kind of got that to 10. But we sometimes we're like we might end up going to the 14. Might come along. So but we don't get together very often.
Yeah.
So it was nice.
Really.
Any excuse.
Yeah. And you had some skincare out for everyone as well, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Everyone just is going to expect that from you now. They're going to be like, where's my goodie bag?
I know. I was like, here's some of our face masks and some of our lip balms.
Yes.
Which they absolutely love. They really like the Raven Botanicals one because it's because it smells like amazing.
Such a nice little like tin that it's in as well. It's like quite old fashioned, but it's really cute.
It's quite cute, and I think because they almost wanted to call it like a lip serum, but they like that just doesn't work. Like who buys a lip serum? But it's really nice.
Yeah. So we've both brought some of our skincare because I thought it was quite good for us to talk about what skincare we're actually using, and I've brought some of like the empty products along as well that I just couldn't get enough of. And yeah, you've got some of yours as well, so you've got quite a few Scottish brands in that one as well.
I actually do. So I use my Sheilic. Is it? Yeah, Sheilic peppermint cleanser. So I use it every morning because I find it really wakes me up.
Yeah,
because I don't get enough.
Very pepperminty, isn't it?
Very pepperminty,
nice.
but I don't get a lot of sleep. So probably get more sleep than most parents, but I need woken up in the morning. I use the Anua toner pads, which I
haven't actually tried those ones yet.
They're so good. Yeah. So when I went and got...
They're not too harsh or anything like that?
No, they're quite gentle. I find a lot of Anua products are generally just quite gentle. They had recommended when I went to get my last facial, because that's what I do.
All for research, obviously.
All for research purposes, purely. They said she was like, try toner pads, because I was just breaking out. And I think it's all hormonal because it's right along my jawline.
It's funny because I think, isn't maybe even like us going back, it was always toner pads or anything like that, just always felt quite harsh or quite drying for your skin as well.
Yeah, I definitely...
It's kind of like retraining, like this is not what it's like in this.
Yeah, and it's like a lot better. Yeah, it is a lot better from like... Yeah. I think we used to use things like that. I'm also using, because we tested it last month and I'm still using it, the hyaluronic acid, the Inculus, well. Which I really like. I've had like a lot of people come back and say like their skin just feels like so different, like really hydrated, which it should. I'm like reaching over. And then I use Raven Botanicals Clarifying Serum, which
I've got that one as well.
My third bottle
it's
of it.
So good, isn't it? Because it's almost, when you put it on your skin, it looks kind of like gold.
Yes, it does.
And you just put it on, like I actually just put that on like last before I go to bed, and it just leaves your skin. I feel like you can still feel it on your skin the next morning, but in a nice way. Like you still feel like it's nice and like moisturised. It doesn't feel like it dries your skin out or anything. It's really nice.
I really like it. It smells really nice as well. Yeah. So like I definitely love it. And like I say, I'm on my third bottle of it.
Wow.
And then I'm on my third bottle of the Skin 1004.
Oh right, okay.
So I use the soothing cream. So I used to use Dr. Jarrett. They do like an overnight mask.
Oh, is that the yellow one?
No, I can't. It's the tiger grass.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's got quite a few parabens in it. So I was on a mission to find like one that was slightly cleaner, and this one came up. And again, the same thing. Like it's got a similar texture. It's lighter, so it's quite a light moisturiser, which I quite like, because by the time I've put on my serum, my hyaluronic acid, and my moisturiser, I don't need like a really thick one. And I also found when I use a thicker moisturiser, I break out.
Oh right, okay, yeah. It's just a bit. I was just trial and error.
It really is just trial and error. But yeah, I'm on I've at least a second of everything, if not a third.
Yeah. So for me, I've got a slightly bigger bag than you here, which is just kind of standard for me when I'm going away for the weekend, and I'm just like, it's just the essentials. So I'm actually just finished this one. This is not, we don't have this on the GlowFound site yet. I've been telling you about this one.
Want to add it.
That is the Skin One. Is it one? Oh, how do you say that?
I say 1004.
1004 Skin
knows.
1004. Yeah. This was the light cleansing oil, but this was really good. Just really good at taking your makeup off, and you don't really need a lot of it, but didn't feel too oily or too heavy in your skin afterwards. So I've just about finished that one, but I've just started using the Anua one. That is the pore control cleansing oil, and it's really nice as well. Actually, it's actually really similar to this one, but I just love like a nice oil to just feels like you can get all your makeup off and your eye makeup off and everything. That's really good, like that one. I was telling you about this one, actually, the Anua Rice, the Milky Toner. This one leaves your skin, I think even just going back, like toners and always just felt that they really like stripped your skin, or when you used to put them on with a pad, whereas I just put this straight on my skin. Yeah. And it just feels really, really moisturising, and especially when you're putting on like your hyaluronic acid afterwards, obviously you're meant to put that on like damp skin, and that's just like a really, really nice base to kind of start my makeup. Yeah, it's interesting. So I've got a friend who's a makeup artist, and I was like, do you need all the steps? And she was like, or would you miss it? Like I would, if I was going to do it before, I'd be like,
skip the toner.
Yeah.
But she was like, actually, it's the natural, it's the exfoliant. It's a really gentle exfoliant. She's like, that's the one step I'd be like, do not miss out.
Oh, really?
The toner,
that's really interesting.
Which I was quite surprised by. I was like, I'm not going to lie. I would be like, that's the one I drop out.
Yeah, No, I probably would have said that before until I started using this one, and absolutely love this one. And I feel like I've used that so often and I've not actually used that much of it. It's just like a really good product to that just seems to go a long way as well, which I think is good as well. That's what we like. We've also kind of started using this one, the Skin 104, is the Centella, is it the Ampoule it's called?
Yes.
Yeah, it's really nice as well. These are really good quality, and I love the kind of glass bottle in this one as well. And all their stuff is just really, it feels like really good quality, doesn't it? For like such a good price point as well.
Yeah, it's also tends to be fragrance free. So see if you've got really quite sensitive skin, sometimes having things that are fragranced irritates it. So I always feel like Skin 1004, if that is how we pronounce it, someone, if it's wrong, please tell us. Google. Yeah, we should really. This is like when we try to pronounce Shaylik. But it's really good if you've got inflamed skin. And I think Anu is the same because it's not fragranced either.
Yeah, both of those ranges I really, really love. I've also been using the Naturium vitamin C serum as well. Just clean the hair off that there. It's really nice as well. I definitely feel like my skin really enjoys vitamin C. It's the one thing that I feel like really made a difference. I started using it a few years ago to my skin, the texture of my skin. Even when I was younger, I had acne. And I just feel like that is the one product that has really kind of brightened my skin and really made such a big difference to it as soon as I use it. So this one's really nice actually. And again, such a good price point because I used to use one that was probably about 3 or 4 times as expensive as this one. And one's really, really good.
Yeah.
I've
not used vitamin C, but I'm intrigued. But yeah, I think you've got to be quite careful if you go for too strong.
Yeah, definitely.
One to begin with. But Naturium's quite gentle, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I really like their products. This is not on GlowFound, but the Caudalie I've only started using. This is my first bottle that I've just about finished, was the Vino Perfect. So I think you can use this almost like a kind of skin brightener. So I would use this in the days that I wasn't using vitamin C. In the kind of same stage there. And really like this one as well. It just feels like it kind of gives you that kind of glass effect as well. It's not the cheapest product, but I really like this. Annoyingly, I was kind of hoping I would use it and really not like it because it's a wee bit more on the expensive side. Yeah. But annoyingly, it really does work. So
I think Caudalie might be one of the original clean beauty brands.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I really like their stuff. I think we have like one thing on our website, but it is a bit pricier, but I do think it is worth it.
Yeah, definitely. No, I'm really enjoying that one. And then I was in America last year and I caved and bought the Rhode Glazing Milk. And I really like it. I would use this like just before. So I use this and then, to be honest with you, I actually feel like I can use this and then just go in with SPF and then put my makeup on rather than having to go in with like a moisturiser or anything like that. That worked really well. But I really do enjoy this. I'm not going to lie. I had to go through, probably about 15 Sephora stores to actually get one, and I got one like the last day. Finally managed to get it, but it's really good. Annoyingly,
they do say that.
Yeah, and then obviously the last step is SPF as well.
I do use that. That's the one I use.
Yep, it's really good. I like the Beauty of Joseon one as well.
Yeah, Joseon. Yeah,
Joseon. I really like this one as well. They just really kind of melt into your skin, and they don't feel like they're really, really white cast afterwards. You know, sometimes with some SPFs, these ones are both really, really nice. And as we're so educated now, there's really no excuse to not be using SPF.
That is very true. Yeah. I do use the Purito one. It just feels nice on the skin.
Definitely.
My skin doesn't feel, generally my skin doesn't feel as tight.
Yeah, absolutely. And but we don't travel light when it comes to skincare.
No.
That's one thing we definitely have in common and makes us...
This is why we're doing this podcast.
Yes, absolutely.
My thing is, I wish they would make travel toner pads.
Yeah.
Because we went to Gran Canaria on Boxing Day, and with me and the family, and I was traveling with my skincare, and I was like, I love my new toner pads, but could they please be like a travel version? Because it's just so bulky.
Yeah.
But I'm like, there's not a chance I'm leaving them.
No.
I'm like, we'll chuck out the guy skincare before we.
Absolutely. Always. It's important. It's part of your brand now as well.
My brand,
so
like, I can't not.
You can't really get away with it. Yes. But I really think that's us for episode 1.
Yeah.
And we've managed to talk absolutely
to fill 40 minutes.
Yeah. It's like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And so we're excited. We have a guest coming up in our next episode, which will be good. We can find out all about their skincare routine as well.
Yeah.
And we're just going to be, this whole series is just going to be, as I said earlier, just about conversations about skincare, well-being and self-care, and really just, grabbing a cuppa and just having a little chit-chat about our favourite topic, which is skincare. So thanks very much for joining us on episode 1, and we'll see you again soon. And don't forget to follow us at GlowFound Official.